Welcome to Peaceful Horizons. Have you ever felt like someone's words or actions completely ruined your day? Maybe it was a rude comment, a thoughtless gesture, or an unexpected inconvenience. It's frustrating, isn't it? We often let these moments take control of our emotions. But what if I told you that no one has the power to control your emotions unless you allow them to? What if you could stay calm and unshaken, no matter what life or others throw your way? Imagine walking through your day with such a strong sense of peace that even the most irritating situations couldn't rattle you. That's not just wishful thinking, it's emotional mastery. Today, we'll dive into 10 transformative lessons that will help you stop reacting impulsively, let go of anger, and regain control over your emotions. These lessons aren't about ignoring your feelings, they're about building the mental strength to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect your peace and live with confidence, no matter what life throws your way. Ready to unlock emotional freedom? Let's begin. 1. Understanding that your reactions are your choice. Imagine a common situation. You're enjoying a peaceful moment, perhaps sipping coffee or walking through a park, when someone unexpectedly says something rude or dismissive. In that instant, your calm shatters, and you feel frustration or anger rising within you. You might think to yourself, why did they ruin my day? But here's the truth, they didn't ruin your day. You did. The reality is, our reactions to events or people are entirely within our control. When we blame others for how we feel, we're giving up our power to them. In other words, we allow them to dictate our emotions. No one can control how you feel unless you allow them to. This is a powerful realization, as it shifts responsibility back to where it belongs, on us. Think of it this way. Imagine you're in a busy city wearing noise-cancelling headphones. The noise, honking cars, the chatter of pedestrians, doesn't disappear, but it's blocked from reaching your ears. Similarly, the chaos of other people's actions doesn't have to disturb your mental peace. Mastering your reactions means learning how to tune out the emotional noise and protect your inner calm. Take Barack Obama, for instance. During his presidency, Obama faced intense pressure and criticism. Yet he consistently maintained a calm, collected demeanor. He understood that while he couldn't control what others said or did, he could choose how he responded. Whether he was dealing with backlash, media scrutiny, or complex global issues, Obama's responses were measured. His ability to remain composed earned him widespread respect, showing us that we, too, can choose to remain unshaken in the face of negativity. On a more personal note, I've experienced firsthand how freeing it can be to pause and reflect before reacting. For example, when someone cuts me off in traffic or makes a rude comment, it's easy to let frustration take over. But I've learned to ask myself, is this about me? Or is this person's stress or personal bias showing? By taking a moment to breathe and reflect, I can neutralize the impact of these situations before they escalate into negative emotions. In practice, there are simple tools we can use to master our reactions. The first step is to pause and recognize when you're feeling triggered. Awareness is key to regaining control over your emotions. Next, ask yourself why you're feeling upset. Is it because your values are being challenged? Or is it a projection of someone else's stress or anger? This reflection helps you detach your emotions from the situation. Finally, choose your response. Once you understand what's driving your emotions, make decisions based on your values, not impulsive reactions. Instead of lashing out, respond calmly and thoughtfully. By mastering emotional control, You prevent external events from dictating your inner peace. It's not about suppressing emotions, but rather about choosing how to respond to them, taking responsibility for your reactions rather than giving others the power to control them. This shift in mindset can transform the way you experience the world, helping you handle even the most stressful situations with composure. 2. Stop expecting people to behave like you. How many times have you felt disappointed by someone's behavior because they didn't meet your expectations? Maybe when you were seeking support, someone let you down by not showing up the way you hoped. It's frustrating, isn't it? You might find yourself thinking, how could they be so inconsiderate? But the truth is, people don't act according to your standards, they act based on their own beliefs, experiences, and priorities. Expecting others to behave the way you would is unrealistic, and it often leads to frustration. Think of it this way: expecting people to conform to your personal values is like trying to control the weather. You can't dictate the rain, the wind, or the sunshine. Similarly, you can't control how others respond or behave. People are shaped by their unique backgrounds and their internal compass, which often leads them to act differently than you would. Holding on to these expectations not only brings frustration, but also unnecessary emotional turmoil. A powerful example of this is Nelson Mandela. During his presidency in South Africa, he was tasked with healing a deeply divided nation. Many expected him to react harshly towards those who had oppressed him. But Mandela chose to embrace forgiveness and reconciliation instead of holding grudges. He understood that expecting others to think and act exactly as he did would hinder his ability to lead and create lasting change. Mandela's ability to let go of unrealistic expectations and accept others for who they were was a key element in his leadership and success. Similarly, in our personal lives, letting go of the belief that others should act as we want them to can be incredibly liberating. Take, for example, a co-worker who often interrupts during meetings. Instead of feeling frustrated or trying to change their behavior, consider that their habit isn't a personal attack on you. It's simply part of who they are. By releasing the expectation that they will change, you free yourself from the emotional burden of needing them to act differently, which ultimately reduces unnecessary stress. There are practical tools we can use to stop expecting others to behave like us. First, acknowledge your assumptions. When someone upsets you, recognize the assumptions you've made about how they should act. Are these assumptions based on your own values? Or are they unrealistic expectations? Next, challenge those expectations. Reflect on whether it's reasonable to expect someone to behave in a way that aligns with your standards. Sometimes, it's not about them being inconsiderate, it's about you expecting too much. Lastly, focus on your response. While you can't control someone else's behavior, you can control how you react to it. Instead of focusing on how others act, focus on how you choose to respond. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, you free yourself from the cycle of frustration and disappointment. Embracing this mindset can help you shift from frustration to acceptance, reducing emotional stress and building stronger, more compassionate relationships. 3. Let go of the need to always be right. How often do we find ourselves caught in a heated argument, driven by the need to prove we're right? It happens more frequently than we'd like to admit. Especially when our beliefs or truths are challenged, we tend to dig in our heels, convinced that defending our point of view is not only justified but necessary. However, the constant need to be right can be exhausting and, more often than not, counterproductive. The truth is that being right doesn't always lead to peace. And sometimes, it only serves to escalate tension. Take a moment to reflect on the countless arguments you've had, whether with friends, family, or colleagues. In many of these situations, the desire to win the argument overshadowed the importance of maintaining harmony or fostering understanding. For example, Barack Obama, known for his diplomatic skills, often made strategic decisions in political discussions not based on whether he was right, but on whether a peaceful resolution could be reached. He understood that being right in every argument wasn't as important as advancing meaningful solutions. And this approach earned him respect on the global stage. In our personal lives, we often get caught up in the emotional need to defend our beliefs. But this only reinforces our egos. Arguments frequently reflect our inner struggle with pride and self-worth. Instead of seeking resolution, we often seek validation that we are right, even at the expense of our peace of mind. Personally, I've found that the moment I stop focusing on being right and start focusing on understanding the other person's perspective, the tension dissolves. It's a more peaceful and empowering way to approach disagreements. To help release the compulsion to always be right, here are a few practical tools. Pause before responding. When you feel yourself becoming defensive or ready to argue, take a step back. A brief pause allows you to reflect and prevents the knee-jerk reactions that often stem from wanting to be right. Seek understanding rather than trying to win. Shift the focus of the conversation from proving your point to understanding the other person's perspective. When you ask questions and listen, you open the door to collaboration and mutual respect, rather than hostility. Pick your battles. Not every disagreement is worth your energy. There are times when the argument doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Choose to invest your time and energy in the issues that truly matter to you and those that have a meaningful impact on your life. By letting go of the need to always be right, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of conflict. This shift allows you to focus on what truly matters: understanding, growth, and building better relationships, rather than simply winning the battle of words. 4. Stop letting others' words define your worth. It's easy to feel deflated when someone dismisses our ideas or delivers a hurtful comment. In those moments, it can feel as though our worth is suddenly under attack. But why does this happen? It often boils down to the fact that we unconsciously attach our sense of value to the opinions of others. We seek validation from external sources, whether it's from a boss, a friend, or a family member. However, the truth is that no one else has the authority to define your worth. Your value isn't determined by someone else's words, it comes from within. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Despite facing numerous criticisms and setbacks throughout her career, Oprah never allowed others' opinions to dictate her sense of self-worth. As one of the most influential media moguls in the world, Oprah's ability to maintain focus on her own beliefs and goals, instead of being swayed by negativity, has been key to her success. She has shared in multiple interviews that many people doubted her abilities early in her career. But she never let those opinions define her value. Instead, she focused on her own growth and vision. The reality is that dismissive or hurtful comments say more about the person offering them than about you. When someone criticizes you without offering constructive feedback, it often reflects their own insecurities or biases. Rather than internalizing their words, view them through the lens of their own perspective. This shift in mindset helps protect your peace and allows you to stay focused on your own growth and progress. Over the years, I've learned that there is a significant difference between constructive criticism and harmful remarks. Constructive criticism is meant to help you improve, learn, and grow. It provides feedback with the intention of helping you become better. On the other hand, hurtful comments often stem from judgment, misunderstanding, or even jealousy. These remarks don't carry the same weight, they reflect the person who made them, not your value. To help detach your worth from others' opinions, here are some practical tools. First, recognize that their words reflect their perspective, not your worth. When someone delivers harsh or dismissive words, remind yourself that their opinions are about them, not about your value. Don't internalize it as a reflection of who you are. Second, filter what truly matters. Separate feedback that can help you improve from words meant to bring you down. Learn to ignore non-constructive criticism, and focus only on what can aid your personal or professional growth. Finally, focus on your intrinsic value. Your worth comes from within. It's rooted in who you are and what you bring to the table, not how others perceive you. Spend time cultivating self-awareness and self-worth that is independent of external validation. By refusing to let others' words define your worth, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional turmoil and reclaim your inner peace. This mindset shift helps you stay focused on your personal growth, rather than being constantly swayed by the opinions of others. 5. Setting boundaries to protect your peace. Setting boundaries is one of the most important tools for maintaining your peace. Yet it's often one of the hardest things to do. Whether it's a friend asking for help at an inconvenient time or a coworker piling on last-minute tasks, saying no can feel uncomfortable. We often fear coming across as selfish or uncaring. But in reality, setting boundaries is an essential form of self-respect, not selfishness. Take Elon Musk, for example, the CEO of multiple groundbreaking companies like Tesla and SpaceX. His ability to set clear boundaries has been essential in managing his time and energy. Musk has openly spoken about how he manages his schedule, allocating specific blocks of time for different responsibilities. Despite his numerous ventures, he doesn't let anyone demand his time outside of those designated hours. By establishing firm boundaries, he protects his focus and energy, ensuring he can operate at his highest potential without feeling drained. The truth is that if you don't set boundaries, others will unknowingly, or knowingly, take more than you're willing to give. It's not a matter of being rude or uncaring, it's about maintaining your well-being. Without boundaries, you may find yourself overwhelmed, stressed, or resentful, which ultimately affects your ability to show up as your best self. Boundaries protect your time, your emotional energy, and even your physical space. In my own experience, I struggled with setting clear boundaries at first, particularly with friends or colleagues who needed something from me. I worried that saying no would make me seem inconsiderate or selfish. But as I began to implement boundaries, I quickly realized they were not only a way of protecting my peace but also a demonstration of respect for myself. By taking care of my needs, I became better equipped to support others in a sustainable way. To help you set and uphold boundaries, here are a few practical tools. First, communicate your limits clearly and calmly. When someone asks for something that stretches your capacity, it's important to communicate your limits without apology. For example, instead of saying "I can't help," try saying, "I'm unable to take on anything else today." This communicates your boundaries in a firm, yet polite way. Second, use I statements to express your needs. Instead of blaming others, express your needs using I statements. For instance, "I need time to focus on my work" is more effective than saying "you're always interrupting me." This allows you to express your boundaries without putting the other person on the defensive. Finally, uphold your boundaries consistently. The key to maintaining healthy boundaries is consistency. If you let someone cross your limits once, they may expect it again. Hold firm to your boundaries. And people will come to respect them. By setting boundaries, you safeguard your peace and protect your emotional energy. It's not about being selfish, it's about ensuring that you can show up as the best version of yourself. For both others and for yourself. 6. Detach from the opinions of others. One of the greatest obstacles to personal peace is the constant need for validation from others. We all seek approval to some extent. But when we let the opinions of others define us, we lose our sense of self and give away our power. The truth is, what someone says about you often says more about them than it does about you. Whether it's a compliment, a critique, or an outright insult, others' opinions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and insecurities, not necessarily by your actions or worth. Take Barack Obama, for example. As the 44th President of the United States, he faced constant scrutiny, criticism, and judgment from people across the political spectrum. Throughout his presidency and beyond, Obama remained focused on his own vision and principles, rather than being swayed by external opinions. He understood that his worth was not tied to the approval of others, and his ability to detach from public opinion allowed him to make decisions grounded in his values. In my own life, I went through a phase where I was constantly seeking approval. I wanted people to agree with me, to validate my choices, and to tell me I was doing the right thing. However, the more I sought validation, the more I realized that it held me back. I was spending energy on trying to please others instead of following my own path. It wasn't until I detached from the need for external approval that I truly started to feel free. I began focusing more on my personal growth and less on how others perceived me. To protect your peace, it's important to question the significance of others' opinions. Are they truly relevant to your life or decisions? Most of the time, they're not. Just because someone shares their thoughts about you doesn't mean it should dictate your actions. It's helpful to reaffirm your own values and priorities, so that you can align your choices with what truly matters to you. For instance, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was often criticized for his bold vision and leadership style. He didn't let the opinions of detractors derail his focus on innovation and excellence. Instead, he trusted his instincts and stayed true to his mission, ultimately revolutionizing the tech industry. Practical tools to help detach from others' opinions include questioning the importance of others' opinions. Before taking someone else's criticism or praise to heart, ask yourself, how does this serve me? Is it in line with my goals or values? Reaffirming your values and priorities is also key. Keep a clear sense of what truly matters to you and let that guide your decisions. When you are aligned with your values, you will be less impacted by what others think. Finally, protect your inner peace by focusing on what truly matters to you. When you shift your focus inward, you stop relying on external validation. You develop a stronger sense of self-worth and become more resilient to the opinions of others. By detaching from others' opinions, you reclaim control over your decisions and emotions. Your worth isn't up for debate. And by staying grounded in your values, you can live more authentically and peacefully. 7. Silence as a response to negativity. In a world where everyone seems to have an opinion and conflicts are often just a click away, one of the most powerful tools you can use is silence. It's not a sign of weakness or defeat, rather, it's an indication of strength and self-control. Choosing not to engage in every negative situation reflects your ability to prioritize peace over confrontation. Silence allows you to maintain your composure and avoid unnecessary escalation, which can be far more damaging than simply stepping back and not responding. Take the example of Nelson Mandela, who, during his years as a political prisoner in South Africa, often chose silence in the face of provocation. While imprisoned, Mandela could have easily reacted to the harsh conditions and mistreatment. However, by maintaining his calm and composure, he not only preserved his own peace but also demonstrated immense strength, which eventually contributed to his success in dismantling apartheid. His ability to choose silence in difficult situations was one of the key reasons he became an influential leader. On a personal level, I've found that silence can often be the most effective response to negativity. Whether it's a rude comment from a stranger or a personal attack from someone you care about, responding with silence forces the situation to diffuse rather than escalate. When you resist the urge to react immediately, you gain the upper hand in terms of emotional control. It's like refusing to engage with a flame when someone tries to ignite a fire of conflict. By doing so, you prevent that fire from spreading to your own emotions or actions. Choosing silence isn't about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about knowing when to step back and recognize that not every battle is worth fighting. People often bring their frustrations into conversations. And sometimes, they're not seeking a solution, they're just looking for a place to vent. Oprah Winfrey has often spoken about the importance of listening. And sometimes, simply listening without feeling the need to immediately defend yourself or offer a response can diffuse the tension. Incorporating silence as a response to negativity involves a few simple tools. First, pause before reacting. Give yourself a moment to gather your thoughts before responding. This can prevent you from saying something you might regret. Second, listen without defending. Allow the other person to express themselves without feeling the need to defend your position. Often, people just need someone to listen to them. Finally, respond only when necessary. Sometimes, the best way to respond is not to respond at all. If a response is needed, keep it calm, constructive, and free of emotion-driven reactions. By choosing silence, you gain control over your emotions, ensuring that you are not dragged into unnecessary conflicts. Like many powerful figures, such as Vladimir Putin, who remains reserved in public confrontations, silence can be a strategy to preserve your energy and avoid giving attention to things that don't warrant it. In the long run, mastering silence is a form of self-respect. It shows that you value your peace and are not easily swayed by outside negativity. 8. Turn moments of frustration into opportunities for peace. Frustration is an unavoidable part of life. Whether it's a traffic jam, a missed deadline, or an unexpected problem, these moments often trigger feelings of anger and impatience. But instead of allowing frustration to take over, you can use it as a chance to cultivate peace. Shifting your perspective can transform these moments into opportunities for growth and gratitude. A great example of someone who mastered this approach is Barack Obama. Throughout his presidency, Obama was often faced with intense pressure and criticism. However, he maintained a calm and composed demeanor, choosing to view challenges as stepping stones rather than obstacles. His ability to stay focused on the bigger picture and remain grounded in moments of frustration was a key to his leadership success. Instead of responding impulsively, he used difficult situations as opportunities to demonstrate patience, resilience, and optimism. Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi often used adversity as a tool for personal growth and peace. Faced with immense struggle and resistance, he turned his frustration into a force for change. Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolence and his ability to reframe challenges as opportunities to promote peace remain an inspiring example of how to transform frustration into something positive. On a more personal level, I've discovered that embracing gratitude during frustrating moments can completely change your outlook. When something goes wrong, it's easy to fixate on the negative. However, by pausing and finding one thing you're thankful for, you shift your focus away from the problem and towards a mindset of appreciation. This practice has a profound impact on reducing stress and increasing feelings of peace. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of feeling irritated, you could use that time to appreciate the fact that you have a car to drive. Or you could listen to music or a podcast that brings you joy. Practical tools to turn frustration into peace include pausing and reflecting. In the moment of frustration, take a few seconds to breathe and identify something you're thankful for, no matter how small. Keeping a gratitude journal is another helpful practice. At the end of the day, write down at least 3 things you're grateful for. This habit helps you cultivate a mindset of positivity, making it easier to stay peaceful in challenging moments. Reframing challenges is also important. Instead of seeing obstacles as setbacks, reframe them as opportunities to grow and learn. Each challenge can be a stepping stone on your path to becoming a stronger, more resilient person. Turning frustration into a chance for peace isn't about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about shifting your mindset to see them as opportunities to practice gratitude, grow, and find peace even in the most challenging situations. This ability to reframe your thoughts, like the calmness exhibited by leaders such as Angela Merkel or Elon Musk, can help you maintain inner peace despite external chaos. In this video, we've explored 10 transformative lessons to help you stay unbothered and emotionally resilient. Remember, emotional freedom isn't something you achieve overnight, it's a continuous practice. But with these tools, you can protect your peace and build a life where no one else can control your mood. Thank you for joining me on this journey of emotional mastery. If you found value in this episode, share it with someone who might need a little extra peace in their life. And if you have your own tips for staying unbothered, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay mindful and keep growing stronger.